Hey, listeners, and welcome to yet another episode of this podcast that I started out by calling the Voiceover Learning Lounge, but has now expanded to covering other pieces of technology. But as luck would have it, today I'm simply here to take a few minutes to tease you, yes, to tease you, you heard that right, about a lesson that's going to drop probably by the end of the weekend, if not by the end of tomorrow night, which is the night of Saturday night to whoever's, depending on what time zone you're in or when you're listening to this, hopefully in real time. This lesson is going to be the first of many where I start to teach. I start to teach things outside of the idea of like basics for Mac and VoiceOver, because guess what? I've already put up a lot of lessons in my shop, okay, in the Learning Lounge, in the front part of my shop about, has pre-recorded lessons there, right? So there's lots of basic lessons already in there about how to use Mac with VoiceOver at a basic level. I've now just started to branch out a little bit and make up these lessons that kind of assume a lot of prior knowledge here. Not really a lot of prior knowledge, but they sort of assume that you know what you're doing. You've gotten your feet wet in terms of Mac with VoiceOver, and you're ready to dive into something that's, not like 110,000% accessible, but is doable, but it's a little bit fiddly. And one of these things is something that many people have commented on, YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube, or the Apple Podcasts thing, or people have written to me and talked to me about, like, it's always boils down to the same thing. It's like, hey, can you do something on the Google Workspace on Mac with VoiceOver? I've had clients come in and ask me for advice about how, a VoiceOver user can use the Google Workspace. I've had people come in and say, hey, is this and that accessible? And they're all pointing to elements of the Google Workspace. Well, let me tell you a truth that it's not an absolute truth, but it's something that I've come up with, and it's just my own opinion. I'm just speaking from experience, okay, as a VoiceOver user. All of these things that people have asked me for, like Google Doc, Google Sheets, Google Slides, all these things. The question is, are they accessible on Mac with VoiceOver? Yes, to some degree, but it's fiddly and there are workarounds, okay? They are most accessible on Chromebook with Chromevox, and you can check out my tab on that if you want to. But let's say you are just running a Mac and you're like, you know what? No. And let's say you're sitting there listening to this and you're like, I don't want to switch screen readers. No, thank you. And yet I want to be able to use some of these things that are so in right now in the Google Workspace, like, the webmail for Gmail, Google Doc, things like that, of that nature. Well, I will try in the next few lessons that I create on Mac with VoiceOver to do what I can to teach you the accessible parts. I said these things were accessible to some degree, right? So I'll try to give you something that will help you at least do the basics, if not a little bit more, on these little things that exist within the Google Workspace. And today is when I started to do that. I wrote and recorded, I'm making the edits on it now, another lesson that will be out, like I said, at the beginning of this little episode here. It'll be out by the end of the weekend. If you want it, go to accessiblelearning.gumroad.com. I've said it so many times now. Open any URL, type in accessiblelearning.gumroad.com, and then type your email address in the subscription box, okay? Because I'm not going to be coming back on here and telling you all that it's out. I'm trusting that you know that it's going to be out. Type your email address in and subscribe, and I will drop an email to everyone on that list to say, hey, there's a lesson now on what? What part of the Google Workspace? How to use the Gmail webmail interface. Someone has asked me that. Well, not just someone. Many people have asked me that. And guess what? Let's tease you a little bit, okay? I'll give you a teaser. And if you want more of this, then give this episode a like, email me, tell me, hey, you're making no sense. Hey, I'm so excited for this, whatever. Want to say something? Want to look forward to this? I just want to know who is listening to this, whoever's listening to this, who would want more on the Google Workspace, and does this topic excite you? Write something in the comments if you're watching on YouTube. Tell me whether you want anything to do with knowing how to learn Gmail and the web interface, on Mac with VoiceOver. But you know what? Here we go. You know what? It's a 40-minute lesson. I'll tell you, it's long. Brace yourself. But guess what? You're going to go over the basics of how to read and write emails, how to send and receive attachments, all with the universal, who's heard of this? Google keyboard shortcuts, okay? I'm going to show you how to turn them on, but you have to get the lesson to learn that. Those keyboard shortcuts, and why am I so passionate now about teaching it? Not because a lot of people have asked for it. Well, partly because, but secondly, it's because these keyboard shortcuts that are going to work in the Gmail webmail interface, I mean gmail.com when you sign in Google Chrome and open it up on your Mac, that space. The keyboard shortcuts that I teach in that lesson are going to be transferable. They are universal and they are Google's keyboard shortcuts. They're going to be transferable even if you walk away from Mac with VoiceOver and you go on a PC with NVDA or you go on a Chromebook with Chromevox. They will be there to serve you well, okay? Right now I've got this open. I've landed in my inbox.
Me, drafting, me, here's any.
And you know what? You just press up or down arrow through the list of messages in your inbox. They're from me to me, look.
Me, drafting, me, here's an attachment, has attachment, 5:31 p.m. Hi, have a look at this.
Okay? Now, what else can you do? I'll show you in the lesson how to do things like this. You can just hit C to compose a new email. You can hit G and T to just jump to your sent folder like this.
No messages selected. Me, drafting, 5.
What did I do? I just hit G for go to and then T for sent messages. And that list in front of me just changed to showing all the messages that I sent out, right?
Drafting, 5. Me, here's an attack, me.
Or you can hit G and D for drafts.
Draft, no subject, July 6th.
There we go, right? Or you can hit, like I told you before, you can hit C for compose.
Compose, new message, dialogue with 6 items to recipients. None.
Type in your email address. I'm going to type in mine, volearninglounge@gmail.com.
Charmaine from the VoiceOver volume.
And guess what? It fills it in. Then you can press VO keys and left arrow.
Charmaine from the VoiceOver Learning Lounge.
To find out, who it's been sent to. Things like that, my friend, and much, much more will be covered in the lesson that's going to drop, I'd say by the end of tomorrow night, if everyone's lucky, including me, on Webmail, how to use the Gmail interface on Chromebook, on Mac with VoiceOver. If this excites you, give me some form of an indication that it has. And if not, I'll talk to you in the next episode. Thank you. Enjoy your day.